Reading from May 28th, Science of Mind, The Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 212, paragraph 3, through page 214, paragraph 1, using inclusive language.
Seeing perfection. When Jesus said to the man, "Stretch forth thine hand," he undoubtedly saw a perfect hand. If everything is mental, and if Jesus saw an imperfect hand instead of a perfect one, no good would have resulted according to the law of cause and effect. A practitioner does not treat a sick person. They deal only with the idea, a spiritual person. Otherwise, they would enter into the vibration of suffering and might themselves experience the result of such vibration. From what we know, Jesus must have seen only the perfect hand, even though he might have recognized the false condition. As far as his word of healing was concerned, it must have been a recognition of perfection, else it would not have healed. Healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea which is already perfect. Healing is not a process, it is a revelation, through the thought of the practitioner to the thought of the patient. There may be a process in healing, but not a process of healing. The process in healing is the mental work and the time it takes the practitioner to convince themselves of the perfectness of their patient, and the length of time it takes the patient to realize this perfectness. Back of what we call the human body, there must be a divine body. It is not necessary to visualize the spiritual body, but we should sense body as a spiritual idea, that the flow and circulation of life through it is complete. It is not inhibited, not congested. It is necessary that the practitioner believe in a perfect body. They cannot realize this unless they have already become convinced that the perfect body is there. If they have come to this conclusion, they must not deny it. There is a perfect heart and a perfect idea of heart, a perfect head and a perfect idea of head, perfect lungs and a perfect idea of lungs. The practitioner must realize that back of the appearance is the reality, and it is their business to uncover this reality. They do this through a process of obliterating false thought. They must deny false conclusions, bring out the evidence of perfection, and produce the healing. Disease is a fact, but not a truth. It is an experience, but not a spiritual reality. We must transcend the appearance, even though we admit it as fact. We are not so cold-blooded as to say to a person with pain that there is no such thing as pain. That is not our idea or purpose. We admit the fact. It is quite a different thing to admit its necessity. We admit that there is unhappiness, but it would be unthinkable to admit that one has to be unhappy. Can it be true that there could be a universal necessity for unhappiness? It cannot. And the time will come when no one will be unhappy. I don't know when it will come. I am not going to wait for it to come, but it is certain that such a time will arrive, and it will come to you and to me now in such degree as we will let it come. We shall be able to let it come in such degree as we are able to convince our consciousness that it is there, and when it finally does come, we shall find that it was always there. Disease, accordingly, is a fact, but not a truth. It is not an eternal verity. It was a fact in human experience for ages that people did not broadcast over a radio, but it was not a truth that they could not. It was not a divine reality, because had they known how to manufacture a radio and talk over it, they could have broadcast in any age. So, we must try to see and sense that always back of the appearance, perfection is.